Gee, is the technology working? Alrighty. I think we're on. Hey, what's up, Chucky? Just trying to get everything working. I think everything is working. Hey, what's up, Michael? Just waiting a couple seconds for my audience to build. I'm Black Dragon. You can find me on YouTube at Black Dragon National President. We're in my foyer where I'll be talking tonight about a topic that's on my mind. First, a little housekeeping. I want you guys to be sure and get my book. They might be backwards on Facebook. I haven't figured out how to fix that yet. I'm still working on it. But the Motorcycle Club PRO's Bible, mcprosbible.com. And of course, the Prospects Bible at prospectsbible.com. And Prospects Bible for Women at prospectsbibleforwomen.com. What's up, Caesar? And yes, my newest book. You guys knew a workout book was coming, right? I haven't re-released this book yet, but it's all about how to do your abs, full color, written by myself and fitness expert Candace Burney. And I cannot wait to make this book available for you guys. It's a workout book. I shot all the pictures and everything. It's about the tummy. That's my next thing I'm attacking. So those are my projects I'm working on. Got a lot more coming for you guys. We're going to talk about tonight some ways to continue to support the we effort of the MC even after the MC has broken your heart. So later on, after I get done talking, we'll have a, if you want to call in, you can call in with your questions, and we'll try our best to answer them. So anyway, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Black Dragon, and I've been in the motorcycle world for more than 2 decades, close to about 27 years. My whole time has been spent with one motorcycle club. What's up, First Lady? Our First Lady of Wichita, Kansas is on. Our Vice President of the Riverside chapter is on. What's up, Stephanie? PRO down there for Notorious Ones down in Warner Robins, Georgia. It's so good to have you all. What's up, Caesar? So good. Thank you all for coming. So we're going to talk about some interesting things. So I was talking with a guy, yet another guy today, and a girl the other day, and a guy and a girl, and folks start calling me all the time. And especially since I've been doing these go lives. Folks have always called me about biker stuff, but since I've been doing these go lives, like it's just like 200 times. And the thing about Facebook now is that you can like hit a button and call someone and be talking to them like live video. You don't even have to have their phone number. So I get a lot of this, folks giving me requests and they want to talk to me about issues within their MCs. And a lot of these people are hurt. I mean, brokenhearted. Brokenhearted enough to cry, brokenhearted enough to want to kill somebody, brokenhearted enough to want to leave their motorcycle club and go somewhere else. And one of the first things I have to tell you about that is there is nowhere else. All motorcycle clubs are the same. So, you know, you get a lot of club hopping because people are really brokenhearted. People in motorcycle clubs are a different breed. What's up, Marlon Hall? People in motorcycle clubs are a different breed. They come to motorcycle clubs, many of them are misfits or don't get along here or never had a family or need something a little more. It's not everybody that needs to put an identification patch on their back. There's just a group of us, a certain group of us that we call the motorcycle set, and we join these families, these extended families, and we expect to treat each other like solid gold. That's what we try to do. That's what we promise. That's what the bylaws do. And the bylaws are the contract between you and the club that guarantee you'll be treated this way if you follow the rules of the bylaw that are stated that way. And so when we get these bylaws and we get this idea of who we are according to our bylaws, when the promises are not upheld, it destroys us. It breaks our heart, and it makes us wonder, why are we giving all this, and what's it for? And then inevitably you get the club hoppers and the folks that are leaving, they're getting the heck away. It just doesn't work for them anymore. And you also get another kind of variant, that person who stops giving. They just kind of slow up, and you know, it's like a work stoppage. You're just not going to see, they're not participating anymore. They're not going to help anymore. They were 100 and now they've gone to 20. And a lot of them sit around and just wait to see what erupts or what erodes. They're waiting for their chance to get back. They're waiting for their revenge because they've been done how they feel is completely wrong. You know, some examples of that might be a person that was prospecting and they expected to go over in 90 days, and it's been a year now and no one's still talking about crossing them over. By the time they do cross over, sometimes they're so darn mad. It's kind of like Clarence Thomas in the Supreme Court, like he's so mad he never says anything, he's always scowling. His feelings were hurt by his approval process. It's really kind of tough when you believe in something and that something lets you down. And I always preach the we. Stop saying me. Stop saying I. Stop saying mine, but start saying we. How do we be the MC? And oh, you guys got to get my We MC t-shirts. I'll tell you how to get them later. But anyway, turn this thing around from I to we. Turn this thing around from I to we. If we're all working on the we aspect of the MC, we're all working towards the beehive, the collective, being the best member you can be. And being the best member you can be means giving of yourself at all times towards the agenda of what's best for the MC. Giving, loving, sharing. Giving till you can't give anymore. Giving until your heart can't stand it. Giving till there's no more left in you to give. Loving until you can't love anymore. And these are the things that were drummed into my head. Okay, Willie Bo, catch you later. These are the things that were drummed into my head by the national president before me. The founder, the father of the Black Sabbath Nation. And I always wanted, well, not always, but after a while I got it. And I wanted to be a party to the great things he always talked about. But I was a guy that took 5 years to prospect. I couldn't get in. The club wouldn't let me in. So I found my heart broken by the Black Sabbath Nation more times than I can imagine. Sometimes people call me up crying, boo-hooing, upset. And I say, dude, I prospected for 5 years. You have this one thing go wrong and you're all blown up about it. Try prospecting for year upon year upon year with no hope of getting in the club. And still desiring to give everything you are to that club. It takes a special person. And we've heard these kind of people called for by leaders throughout our history. President Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, but rather what you can do for your country. That is a significant thinking pattern of moving from I, mine, me, to we. It is the greatest thing that you can do. Hey, Chris Roth over there, we appreciate you coming on, bro. That's my mechanic. That dude is monster. You guys have to use this guy. You got to buy motorcycles from his spot. This guy, these folks are monsters. I talk about them all the time. I'll tell you about them in just a bit. So, how do you give when your heart is broken? How do you give when you've given all you can and they accuse you of things? They accuse you of stealing club money and all you have done is given money. They accuse you of lying. They accuse you of breaking the laws. What's up, Greg Phillips, brother? President of the Wichita, Kansas chapter of the Black Sabbath Nation. So what do you do when you've given everything you can give? You've sweated and they've torn you down. Sometimes they've taken your good accomplishments. Like a lot of times I had this one video where I talked about if you are a mover and a shaker and an accomplisher in the MC will hate you. There are certain people in the MC that'll hate you. Oh, he thinks he's so smart. Oh, he thinks everybody likes him. This kind of stuff that people do. Or if you got go live videos going out all over the place, you might even hear from your own motorcycle club. What's up, Charlie Boy? Dallas, Texas. Appreciate you. Love you, brother. Black Sabbath Motorcycle Club. So it's that thing that happens in all of society that you have to be careful about. It's that thing that happens called jealousy, pettiness, and it happens with human beings. Because human beings are human. God is the only perfect being. So, because we're human, although we may promise a lot of things, we don't always deliver on them. Although we may make a lot of guarantees, we don't always deliver on them. Although we may tell you that this is the way it is and the bylaws read the way that they read, we don't always deliver on the bylaws. We don't always follow them. We don't always make our rule choices by the bylaws. We don't always follow the steps. Sometimes politics comes in, BS comes in, screwy stuff comes in. People make up protocol as they go along. And what you get is less than the delivery you expected. And whenever you get less than you expect or less than you give, your feelings are hurt. And when your feelings are hurt, your heart is hurt. Someone makes you a promise. And where I come from in Oklahoma, deals are made with a handshake. Good evening, Dula. Page 2, man, when can I want page 1 to tune in. Why do I have to be tuned in on page 2? But whenever you're given less than you bargained for. Well, I come from Oklahoma, and things are still done on a handshake, and your word is what you have. And when a person doesn't keep their word, man, folks ain't messing with you. So, what is it that makes people act this way? What is it that makes people not do what they promised? And when they don't do what they promised, and it breaks your heart, hey Tandra, China, Wichita, Kansas, goddess of the cross of the Black Sabbath Nation. So, what's up, Gary? So, when you're faced with these things, and your heart is broken, one of the things you want to do is get revenge. One of the things you want to do is quit the club. One of the things you want to do is get the hell away from those people that made you those promises. I can't tell you how many folks I've seen prospect and quit, like right after their prospectship. Or, you told me I was only prospecting for 90 days. It's been 180 days, I'm out. All of these things that happen. So, that pain can be so great. I have seen people pull guns on people in meetings. I have known people to be shot. I have been in meetings where folks have had a fist fight. I've been in meetings where people have thrown down. I've been in meetings where the doors are shut and the folks, one side would take one side of the argument, the other side take the other side of the argument. The sleeves would roll up. Good evening, Phoenix. Man, you guys are all over the country. It's so cool. And indeed, on my YouTube, all over the world. So you get these feelings, and you get this stuff in you, and at the end of the time, some folks say, I give up, I quit, or I'm going to give less. And I've been one of those people that I feel like I've been completely beaten up by my MC. It's the nature of the business, especially if you're a president or a leader. Barack Obama just gets destroyed. There are people that say he hates America. That must be very painful for someone to say you hate America and you think that you're doing everything you can for America. And it happens to every president. But George Bush hated America, and so did Clinton. And I mean, that's how they do this. No matter who you are, you hate America to the other side. Well, there are people in the motorcycle club that act that way too. You hate this club. You're running it into the ground. I'm working about 50 hours a day doing this stuff, plus my regular job and taking care of my family. But they don't see that. And this is a volunteer thing for most of us. We don't get paid from it. So there are a few things I want to tell you that I believe can help you. My biggest thing, the biggest reason I wrote Prospects Bible was I got tired of seeing the club hopping. And it really would be kind of funny to me that a guy who would hop from my club and go and become a president somewhere would call me up and say, Black Dragon, everything you said was right. I could have stayed with the Black Sabbath. It's no different over here. And I wrote Prospects Bible to kind of get people ready for the shock of this thing isn't exactly as it's promised. It can be pretty close, but you're going to have pain. You're going to have sorrow. You're going to be disappointed. You're going to be let down. You're going to be neglected. You'll have lies told to you. You'll have lies told about you. All of these things happen in motorcycle clubs. And it's still a brotherhood. And it's still a sisterhood. And these are still people you can depend upon. And they are still people that will be your friends throughout your entire life. But you still have to know how to deal with rejection, how to deal with lies, how to deal with hurt, how to deal with conflict resolution, and how to stick and stay and go all the way. So I talk about a few things. How do you love someone that's hurt you? I remember when I was a little boy. I had a single mother raising me. She worked 2 jobs. I don't know how she kept food on the table. My mother was making like $4 or $5 an hour. And actually she had 3 jobs. She would work her government job. Then she would work a second job. And then on Sunday she'd play the piano in church. And she'd get paid for that. So she had 3 jobs going. So she had this little thing of $50 she was saving. And she had that under the bed. Well, they came out with this game called Pong. And all the kids had a Pong, and I didn't have Pong, and I wanted to play Pong. You know, Pong is pretty, if you haven't played Pong, you're a nobody, right? Pong was the first of the video games. And it was just like tennis. You pong, pong, back and forth. It was cool. It made Pong noises. So there was an arcade that would let you play Pong for 25 cents. And I didn't have any money. I didn't have a job. But I knew where these $50 were underneath my mother's bed. So I must have spent like $50 of those $50, which was a lot of money back then. So one day my mom needed to feed us, and she didn't have the money, but she knew she had this reserve of money under the bed. And she goes under the bed, and that reserve of money is not there. Where's the money? John used it to play Pong. Well, needless to, can I tell you I got toe up? I got my butt just whomped on. But that night, I ate. My mother cried and cried at the loss of that money. It still breaks my heart that I did it to this day. I didn't have any idea of how important it was to her. And that's something to think about. A lot of times, people don't know how badly they hurt you when they did. It can just go straight over their heads. They don't know how much it means to you. They don't know you never had a father or never had a brother, or they don't know how important some things are. They don't know how important it is to keep their word sometimes. And you're looking at them like, you piece of garbage. And they have not even the slightest idea. I had no clue about how bad that hurt my mother. But through her pain at her loss, she was stolen from by her own child. And I don't know how she managed to feed us. She never put that on me. Instead, she disciplined me. And then she loved me through it. She continued to love me even though the pain was significant for her. And so, how do you continue to love through your pain? Well, I had the Black Sabbath hurt me so bad when I was prospecting, and other times, telling me you can't join. One time I was called a coward. You coward! It made me so angry I wanted to kill somebody. But then came a time that I needed to help the MC. But all I wanted to do was give. I wanted to give to the MC because I wanted to be a part so bad. And so I kept giving and giving my best, even though it was tough, even though it was hard, even though I had a lot of adversity. But I overcame it through giving, which my grandmother used to say, you catch a lot more flies with honey than you do vinegar. But after I got in and I was now a member, well, there was some resentment in me. I wanted to get back, like, you dirty dog, you would never let me in the club. Now what can I do to ruin your vote? Well, I'm not thinking about the best part of the MC now. I'm thinking about getting back at you and destroying your vote. And so in thinking about getting back at you and destroying your vote, I become ineffective. In the military, we call that combat ineffective. I become ineffective to get out the best things for the MC that the MC needs to have. So you have to ask yourself, am I here for the MC or am I here for me? Do I want to do the best things I can for the MC, or do I want to do the best things I can for me? You have to ask yourself, what am I here for? Am I here for I, or am I here for we? These people will let you down because they're humans, and human beings let people down. How do you handle it is the question. What do you do? Well, one of the things you can do, and I always like to put my things you can do on something, one of the things that you can do is forgive. Forgiveness. Boy, it's tough to forgive. I had someone once make up some lies about me and spread those across the MC and actually get me in a lot of trouble. And I couldn't even find myself wanting to ride with them. When you have a brother in the MC that you don't want to ride with, every time you see him, you turn the other way, you go the other way. It creates tension within the MC. And when tension is created, it's bad for everybody. You can just try to forgive it. I forgive you. You don't even have to say it to them. You can say it in your own head. I forgive him. He's a freaking idiot anyway, and I forgive that idiot for what he did to me. It takes a lot to hold on to hate. It tears you up on the inside. It makes you looking to get back at somebody when really you need to be looking at advancing the great things of the MC. I do these videos to try to encourage you to be the best member you can be, to make the best impact you can make, because this is your life and your lifestyle, and how do we make it better? How do we make it fun? How do we make it exciting? How do we make you want to live to do something like this a little more? And take away all of the negatives, or as many of them as we can possibly take. Forgiving is one of the most wonderful things that you could have in your heart. I had a boss, his name was Tom. One thing that I remember reading somewhere is you would know that we are Christians by the way we act, the way we behave. And this boss of mine named Tom called himself a Christian. And I would watch him, and boy, now he's a right-wing Republican, and I'm probably something completely on the other side, and we would never agree with anything political, ever. However, I always noticed that when it came to giving, this boss of mine was always about his Christian duty. And you couldn't hate the guy because the guy was always trying to do the right thing. Now, it's an interesting thing because I had read this article and I wanted to know what the great Christian Tom would do. So there was a guy that was in prison. He was on death row and he was about to be executed. And he told everyone, I'm innocent, I didn't do this thing. And no one believed him. And he said, but I'm innocent, I didn't do this thing. And I'm going to sacrifice. And I'm just going to go ahead and die. And after I've died, you'll know that I didn't do this thing. And so they executed him. And they went back and they were cleaning out his things. And they found a loaded .38 pistol in his typewriter. No one knew how the hell he got it in there. So I was like, if I had a loaded .38 pistol, .38 special with hollow points in it, and you were coming to execute me, I got 5 shots, 5 folks will be dead. You'll execute me in a glorious or inglorious gun battle. So I asked Tom, well, what would you do? And Tom said, well, I would let them execute me. And I said, you would let them execute you? And he looked at me and he smiled and he said, what would Jesus do? Well, we know what Jesus did. He let him execute him. Man, that messed me up. It messed me up for the longest time because I got that cowboy instinct. I'm ready to get at it with you. But Tom wanted to do the better things in life. And so I asked you sometimes when you think about what you want to do to your brothers and sisters who have angered you in the club and how you want to get back at them, I might ask you, what would Jesus do? Or Muhammad or whomever it is that you follow. What would they do? What would be the better tenet that they would follow? You kill people with kindness. When they treat you bad, Psalm 35, they rewarded my goodness with evil. When you treat people good, even though they do bad things to you. It changes their hearts in some cases. It makes them not understand why you're so good when they've been so bad. Another thing you can do when folks are coming down on you and the club is breaking your heart, you never know what people are doing that don't have the power to hurt you. Some of those people are watching you and watching what you're doing, and you are their inspiration. So a lot of times I say, teach those that you can that can appreciate what you're doing, and pay less attention to those who cannot. So if I'm up against a brick wall here, I can just turn where there's no brick wall and do the goodness I have to do over here and let that stand over there. So you never know what riding your motorcycle does to someone who wants to be like you. You never know what helping others in the MC does to someone who's just watching. They're silent, they're meek, and they're just looking at how you do to know that, like, you know what, I was always on your side. I was I was not the kind of person to say anything about what they were doing to you, but I was so impressed with the class you had while you were going through this adversity that I want to be just like you. This is your future. This is the person that makes the MC be what it's going to be. So always remember, you got prospects and you got non-officers and you got meek and humble people that are watching you when you get to that point that you want to turn that revenge. I had a guy who ran into some problems, and the MC ran into problems. And part of the stuff, they came down on him, and he had been one of my guys. He went to another MC, and they told him he had this problem. And then they said, well, you know what? Never mind. We want you to be the president. But oh no, he didn't want to be the president now because they weren't so giving when he wanted to be the president the first time. But now they found out they couldn't do it without him. So he goes, nope, I don't want to be the president now. And I said, well, you don't have any choice. And he said, well, why don't I have any choice? These folks were mean to me. He didn't say these words, but they broke my heart. And they didn't take the goodness I offered them when I had it. So now, no go. I said, yeah, but you see, the presidency of the MC is not about you. The presidency of the MC is about the MC. And when the MC has decided that you are the best man for the job, even if they got it a little bit too late, who are you, the best man for the job, or the best woman for the job? Who are you to deny the MC the best person for the job the MC could have? It's not about me. It's about we. We, the MC. This might be backwards for some of y'all. We, the MC. That's who it's about. So, another thing you can do, and this works. My grandma used to do this. You can pray for bad people. You can actually pray for bad people, and bad things will happen to them if they don't do good stuff. My grandma used to scare me to death with, that's all right, I'll pray for you. Whoa! What you want me to do? I'll do it. So you can actually pray for bad people, and praying for bad people will make them do good sometimes. I've actually seen this work. Psalm 35 is one of my favorite ones. Cry in private, but be successful in public. What happens when you have the best person for the job and the members go behind your back? They do that, T. They will go behind your back. And it breaks your heart. And sometimes when they go behind your back and they knock that out, and then they come back later and they say, oh my goodness, that was the best person, now let's go get them. But now you're like, oh no, you should have taken me when you could. That's the part we want to stop. Be humble in your heart, reserved in your spirit, and say, I still love you all, you're still my family, you ain't no good, you will be punished, but I'm going to do the best for the job. Cry in private, but have success in public. When they see you, let them see you strong. And let them see you still doing the right things, even though they did bad by you. Another thing you can do is refuse to argue. There is nothing like someone who won't argue with you, who won't go there with you, who won't dip down with you, who won't get in the dirt with you. What you say really does not matter. I'm brushing this off because I'm here for the best interest of the MC, and even though you're not, I am. So you just brush that off you, bro, and keep riding. Oh, you think you're somebody. Oh, you think you're that. It's funny how people know what you think. I wish I could know what somebody thought that was rich so I could get paid. These folks know what you think, they're telling you what you think, and they're making actions on what you think based on what they've come up with about what you think. It's absolutely crazy. Another thing you can do to relieve stress, and I do this a lot, exercise. Work out, get your mind and body right before you deal with folks. It'll make you stronger. It keeps you from turning your anger on the club and keeps you working towards self-improvement. As you improve yourself, you improve your attitude, you do better things for the MC. What I keep harping on here is best for the MC. Best for the MC. Best for the MC. Best for the MC. I'm not talking a lot about you at all, because I'm telling you your feelings are going to be hurt. I'm telling you you're going to get brokenhearted. I'm telling you that for all the great and the good of the MC, it's life. There's going to be some bad things in the MC too. But it's all right. It's cool because it's a cyclical thing. It runs in a circle. And you'll have good days and you'll have bad days. But you don't have to quit your club. You don't have to leave. You don't have to club hop. You don't have to go somewhere else. You can turn that failure into a success. You can turn those folks around just by exuding from within you the best person you can be at all times. And finally, forgive me for cussing here, but piss them the hell off by never, ever quitting. When you are successful, you turn haters, you just destroy them. When you refuse to quit, when you always refuse to do the best things you can do, when you refuse to not ride, not let them stop you from riding your bike, when you refuse to not let them stop you from making your mandatory events, when you refuse to not let them stop you from doing the job that you said you would do, you win. You win big. You become a success. You see, eventually after 5 years, they had to let me in that motorcycle club. I got in. And over time, I became the top officer in the entire motorcycle club that wouldn't let me in. All I did was worked hard and continued to outwork everybody next to me. Now, I don't look like that as something to gloat upon. Aha! I got you! I can be happy that I helped my brotherhood establish itself as one of the preeminent clubs in the United States, with chapters from coast to coast, something they did not have before I was able to become a part of the MC, something that I worked to help them get. Not the I, but the them, the we, this is what we have. I helped to work. I was allowed to be a part, and I was allowed to contribute, and I helped. And all the people that have come since that time and joined with me, we have built us a marvelous thing. And now I get to sit here on this bench, an old man, and tell you guys about how we did it. Because I never, ever stopped giving the best that I had to give. Even when they talked about me, even when they lied on me, even when they stabbed me in the back, even when they cut me in the throat, because for all of that happened, they still rode with me. They still hung out with me. They still came and got my bike off the side of the road. They still were my brothers. They still fought with me. They still looked after me. When I was sick, they still came to see about me. When my heart was broken, they came over to my house and cleaned it up. They called me to make sure I was okay. One time my heart was so broken, my brothers called a counselor. You need to talk to Dragon and make sure he's all right. So with all the bad is the good. It comes. And it evens out. A lot of times, there's way more good than bad. But it's life. The MC is life. It's real life. And like you get in fights with people in your family, brothers and sisters in your family, you get in fights with people in your extended family. But you don't leave them and you don't quit. Ever! If you can help it, you stay. Six seven eight 395 6536. 678 395 6536. If there are any questions, or you can just put them up there. I'm done with that real quick, like I didn't take 2 hours this time. That only happens when you're messing with cell. Wow, no questions. You guys really gonna let me get out of here in 42 minutes? No questions? I think I covered everything. Okay, Tuesday nights. That's Tuesday night, 877-387-8884. 877-387-8884. That's going to be my PRO's course. It's free, and you'll get a certificate when you get through with that. Let me see. Somebody just asked me a question. What if two people in a club refuse to get along? Oh my goodness. So, if I have two people in my club that refuse to get along, I force them to ride together. I send them to a rest stop 150 miles from town, and I make them spend the night there. And then I let them come back home. There's nothing like the road to get you right. It's nothing like riding next to your brother to get you right. Now, I once had a guy tell me, I don't always want to ride with you. If I'm mad with you, I'm pissed off with you, people say, ride your bike, ride your bike. I don't want to ride with you. We don't have anything to talk about. I got that. So I really can't wait to make you two ride together. I want you two to ride together, and I'll maybe send a third person with you. You go ride and you spend a night at that rest stop, and you make a fire or something. You can just stare at each other. Or you can come back with everything resolved, or some things resolved, or at least be able to talk to each other. Because remember, we're living the best MC life we can live, and we're giving our all to the MC. And this ain't about whether you two get along or not. It's about how your misbehavior with one another and treating each other bad affects the entire MC. The entire chapter is screwed up behind you two. People are taking sides, blah, 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 and we're trying to get away from that. You're welcome, Dula, page 2, man. Next time, call me on page 1. Don't hit me with this page 2 stuff anymore. That's ridiculous. Okay, I'll tell you guys about my We shirt, WeMC.com. I'll have that up here in a couple days so we can start a new revolution. We, the MC, how to do we instead of I and me. So we got the WeMC shirts coming, and you guys know what it's for. Paul Pet Perry said, stop saying I, and start saying we. All right, so I am done. I appreciate you all. I guess I'll get out of here. And always remember to get skinny.